update on Josh Palmer?
Yeah, he just fell, when he caught that touchdown pass. We're going to know a little bit more after practice.
He felt what, did you say?
I said he fell in the end zone after he caught the touchdown pass, so we'll know a little bit more after practice.
We saw Sebastian working back into individual drills, promising sign.
Yeah, he's working back in and getting his pads on, and he's making his way back.
Coach, what are some of the questions that you have about your team going into this game on Saturday?
Tackling. I think that anytime you tackle live for the first time, that's always something that you're going to try and focus on. And then I just think operationally, making sure we're as clean as we can be in all three phases. You're doing something for the first time. Some of these rookies have never played in an NFL game, and there's a lot of people on the sideline. So just making sure that we're organized, that we give these guys a really clean game plan so that they can go execute and that we can evaluate them.
You look to rely on Easton as a leader because he had played before in preseason games?
A lot. I'm really looking forward to Easton playing a lot in the preseason and getting to show what he can do. He's had an excellent camp. I think you can see the improvement. I've told you guys, I think all 3 years he's improved as a player, and he's going to be a really steady presence for those guys on game day on Saturday night. So really looking forward to watching him play.
Have you guys finalized who's playing, who's not playing?
We're going to take the injury report from today and meet his coaching staff tonight and kind of map those reps for the ball game.
And then just like a couple guys I wanted to ask about to see if they were playing. JT, will he get some snaps?
Just to be determined. Yeah.
In terms of quarterback for Saturday, Easton first half and Max second half?
We haven't mapped it out exactly, but I think you can expect Easton to play a healthy amount. Max will play for sure.
Offense seemed to be in quite the rhythm today, at least from outside looking in. What are your kind of feedback takeaways from today's offense compared to what we've seen in the past?
I thought, when we created that situation, we were down by 14. I thought that we had, 2 good drives to bring us back. Mike made a big-time catch on third down to get us moving. And so I like the way that we executed. You're going to have to do that at some point in the season when you're down by 2 scores in the second half and time's not on your side. So I felt like they really executed that situation well, managed the time and the clock, and then we were able to get the big play to Keenan on the sideline. But, Justin's done that his whole career. He's outstanding when you have to push the pace and, when you really have to be aggressive. He's always been good in those situations. I thought he used his legs really well to keep us moving, stay away from trouble. And again, it's really good for their conditioning too. So I think offensively it helps your O-line creating a situation like that where they really have to run. Receivers have to run a long way back, and you got to rely on your depth too. So I was pleased how that went today.
How would you say, I saw at the end, Keenan Allen had that catch for a second left in what seemed like the game. Yeah. Defense seemed to look like they didn't think it was a touchdown. What was that all about?
Well, yeah, they didn't want it to be a touchdown, but it was. And it's been competitive. And those guys in the second group, it's been a great chance for us to evaluate them against the first group, I think, before they get to the preseason. So I think that, creating these situations allows us to evaluate them. And, they've got a lot of pride out there. They're competing for spots, and it's going to help them on Saturday night.
Do you do more evaluating in the games than in practice, or is it?
No, practice is where it's at, because you can control the environment and you can get them through the situations. But there is that element in the games that you're getting to see them against different scheme. You can see them apply their rules to some unscouted looks and to tackle other players. So I think there's that finishing aspect to the preseason games, which is important, and who can execute under pressure. But, practices is where we probably learn the most.
Brandon, are you going to call plays for the defense, or there's kind of thought going around the league right now that coordinators can sometimes handle these preseason games? So how are you going to handle that?
Yeah, good question. I'll call some of it, and then Derek will call some of it. I think, we haven't decided exactly, but we've done it in the past here in the preseason. We want to try to create as much opportunity for people to improve. We want to make sure that we get the preseason started off the right way. But, last year we did something similar, with Ronaldo and Chris. So we're going to make sure that we always do that, trying to be, I think it's important for guys that they can develop. So, you'll see some of that in the preseason.
It's follow.
Yeah, it's a follow. I was just going to say, are you going to do some of that on offense, or since it's Kellen's sort of first year?
No, with Kellen, that's a different circumstance. But, on defensively, you can expect Derek to call some.
Keenan kind of had a funny line the other day about Justin and Justin's growth and breaking down the huddle. I know you're kind of in there for a second, maybe not the whole thing, but have you noticed any growth from Justin when it comes to breaking down the huddle and what he's communicating with teammates?
Yeah, I think it really started, in the springtime. And as I said, I think he's really grown in that way every single year I've been here. But I think that, now in training camp, I think after the contract extension and knowing, what we need as a team, and he certainly knows his place on our team. I just think you've been able to see the best of him in that way. And I make that comparison of, when you're a senior at Oregon, that's a lot different than when you're a sophomore or freshman. And the comparison's the same. Because when you come into an NFL locker room, you're not just breaking down the team as a 22-year-old kid. You have to earn your way in this league. So he's definitely earned his way, and he's made this his football team, and that's why we've had such a good camp.